Yo guys, what is up? Hopefully this year we're going to have another epic RTS game on our hands. Let's have a look at the trailers.
In every age, there is a cause worth fighting for. But in the future, the greatest threat to our survival will not be men at all. Now the youth of tomorrow must face an enemy more devastating than any ever imagined.
Go, go, go! Move!
Troopers, with me!
Slytherin takes you to the front lines of the next frontier. Starship Troopers, Terran Command.
You're on your heavy attack! Fall back! Here they come! Fire at will! Getting them to run!
Okay then, so what did you think of that? Starship Troopers Terran Command, meant to be out in 2020. Here we are on their Steam page, and we've got a few things to look at. We've got the trailers that we just showed you, and we've also got a few screenshots that we didn't actually see during those trailers. So the graphics and everything looked pretty good. I thought the explosions and the battles and the lighting and stuff looked really decent. Something I've been reading about the game as well is that there's things like line of sight. So and terrain. So I think like when your soldiers like back here and they actually can't see down the ramp, they wouldn't be able to fire. They weren't going to be able to shoot through it. So it actually seems like some things like I'm reading. I know it's only a little thing and a little point that I picked up, but it's just little things like that I'm reading that are making it more realistic. And if you look at like the lighting, like where my cursor is now and stuff, to me it looks really decent. The shadows and the explosions and the fire and everything looks really decent. So another screenshot. This must be from the alpha. I'm not sure who's involved in the alpha exactly. But I've checked on their website and they actually have a few of the games ongoing and you can apply to be in the betas and stuff like that, but not for this game. So unfortunately, maybe I won't be involved in the beta. But yeah, it says out in 2020, but I have been on the forums. This is a forum on their website. So where it says any updates from this guy here, Snuggles, on the 14th of May. And he's basically asked here for an update. And there's been a few replies, but nothing from the actual Slytherin staff, which actually are the developers behind this game. Or sorry, the publisher behind this game. And then the aristocrats are the developer. So yeah, no reply. And obviously that may be in like when the pandemic was in full swing. I think the pandemic kicked off like properly in my country in like the 1st of April or maybe the back end of March. So yeah, the fact there's been no updates for a while is kind of a little bit worrying, but I mean, they've still got 4 months. Maybe they're just silently working in the background, making sure they get the launch right rather than leaking information or saying, oh yeah, we'll promise it's going to be on the way or whatever. Maybe they've got their heads down or working, or maybe their office is closed and nobody's home. So yeah, maybe if anyone's following them on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that and you find out more information, let us know in the comments what is going on with this game. So yeah, when you're on the Steam, you've got information about the game down here, which we'll come on to in a second, like the I always have a look at the graphics card. So processor required i3 and then GTX 550. I think that's fairly decent, and also a 10 gig size. So I think that's a fairly decent size. So it's basically and requirement. So basically saying that the game is going to be graphically decent to me. Like the better the requirements, the better it is. Well, generally anyway. It's not going to be like cartoony. And if the game actually does look like this, it's going to look super decent. So yeah, they're made by developer the Aristocrats. So you can actually click on them on Steam, and you can see what other games and stuff they've been involved in. They're working on a few others. So like you can apply to be on the beta on the Slitherine.com website. You can apply to be in the beta of that. ICBM is basically like you launch nukes around the world. I think there's a few games like that though. But what I am struggling to see here, apart from I think they've been involved in the Warhammer 40,000 series, which I think some of that is proper RTS, but some of it is like turn-based and stuff, isn't it? So I think anyway. So yeah, I'm just struggling to see anything that's like proper RTS. But I mean, maybe you can have a look through here. It looks like they've been involved in some serious stuff anyway. If you go back, you can actually click... did I click on the Aristocrats there or Slitherine? If you click on Slitherine, who's apparently the publisher, it says like 212. So they've been involved in some serious games if they have really published all of these. But a lot of these, have you ever heard of them? Apart from like the Warhammer 40,000, I've not heard of a lot of them, to be honest. But maybe I'm just been a bit oblivious. But they've been involved in some serious stuff. And you can have a look through the screenshots in here. You do find some good, decently graphical looking stuff. But yeah, I'm just after like a really decent, solid RTS. And maybe that's what they're going to do here. But yeah, we'll hopefully find out in 2020. If we read down a bit here, you can read all about the game and stuff. One thing I found interesting was the dynamically generated campaigns for virtually limitless replayability. So basically, I think that means, from what else I've read online as well, is that when you're going through the campaigns, let's say you're playing Command and Conquer and you're playing the campaign, you need to complete X mission, you need to complete Y mission. If you lose, you got to replay it, and you got to keep playing and keep playing and keep playing until you get past that level, and you go through to the next level, whether it be level 2 or 3 or whatever. But here it's basically saying dynamically generated campaigns. So let's say you lose an engagement, or you lose a battle, or you choose, maybe you get a choice to branch off or take this battle and leave this battle or whatever. It seems like it might be branching off, and you've got basically unlimited replayability. I don't know if I've ever seen a game claim that before, unlimited replayability. That sounds pretty cool to me. Maybe you can play the campaign over and over again and it will be completely different. So that's pretty cool. Here's the thing where I saw about the terrain elevation, true line of sight. Seems pretty decent. Don't know if a lot of games claim that or even have that. I'm sure some do. Yeah, dozens of unique unit types. I don't see anything about base building though. So whilst we've got loads of unique unit types, like if you go back up here to the screenshots and we have a look at like this one, for example. So it looks like here you've got infantry on their own there. So I don't know if like they're officers or special units or whatever, but you've got these obviously mech robot things. Yeah, I guess if you're the aliens, if you can play as the aliens or whatever they're called, I guess they've got these big scorpion things. And then they've got the more drone looking things or whatever they're called in the actual film. I can't remember. But then it looks like you've got squads of infantry, so like you've got 16 there. But yeah, I'm just lacking the base building. Actually, that looks a bit like StarCraft 2, like when a barracks takes off, whatever. But I think they're just dropping in reinforcements, so we can't actually see that many unit types there. But I suppose maybe you've got, again, you've got the 16 there. I think slightly smaller mechs or robots there. Planes with giant whatever we want to call them. I think that's it. So yeah, basically it's saying dozens of unit types, which is good. I'm just lacking the base building thing. I would love to see base building, extensive technology tree, so you can like, I guess it would be like World of Warcraft, where you can like branch up, customize, and let's say you want maximum damage, you climb up the tree and get your maximum damage, or you want maximum defense or whatever. Persistent leaders can be attached to units that upgrade them throughout the campaign. Okay. And heroics, explosions, gore, and bugs. Lots of bugs. Oh, they're called bugs in the film. So yeah, it looks super decent. I'll let you read through all of that. I won't read everything. So it sounds to me like a survival kind of game. So where you're just trying to survive. So yeah, against oncoming limitless numbers. So maybe you're just trying to bunker down, or yeah, well, I mean, I suppose if there's a campaign, it can't just be all survivability. Maybe there will be some missions like you've got to go and rescue your guys or whatever, or maybe you've got to hold until reinforcements land or whatever. But to me, it looks super promising, looks super decent. Any new game that is even remotely enjoyable to play RTS, I'm probably going to be getting it and probably playing it. But let me know what you think in the comments. Did you enjoy these trailers? Do you think this is promising, and do you think it's going to come out in 2020? Let me know what you think. If we just go, actually, what I also like to do is I've checked them out on YouTube, Slitherine Games. don't have that many followers on here, but I think sometimes the developers or publishers don't necessarily do. Like I said, I've never heard of Slitherine before. Maybe you have. Again, let me know in the comments if you have or not. But the other thing I like to do is like when the main trailer gets released, like on GameSpot trailers, you can see like the kind of response it's actually getting. And so far it's massively positive, and it's actually got quite a few reviews there as well. So yeah, let me know what you think of it. Also, there is their website, slitherine.com. I'll put the links in the description. Here you can see all the other games they've been involved in before, which we actually already looked at on Steam. But you can also like apply to be involved in betas of their games. If you like find their game section, you can actually apply to be in like betas of certain games, like that ICBM game. You can apply to be a beta of that. And this, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this film, the original film of Starship Troopers, used to be one of my favorite films. So yeah, I'm quite excited about it. I liked the film at the time. It has been a number of years since I've seen it, but hopefully this lives up to the game. And this game actually reminds me a little bit of a game called Ground Control, by the way it looks there and stuff. Then if you ever played that before, Ground Control 2, I think it was. If you Google or YouTube that and have a look at it and see if you remember playing it, it reminds me a little bit of that. So yeah, let me know what you think of this game. And do you think it's going to be out in 2020? Do you think it's going to be a letdown? Do you think it's going to be good? Let us know what you think in the comments. GG, and I'll see you next time.